Good Monday morning. I know we're all, hopefully, we're all keenly aware, if you've been walking this road with me enough, we know that our heart has a real enemy. So do our bodies. I'm realizing that the older I get. That it has an enemy too. Our family has an enemy. Our church family has an enemy. This world has an enemy. So is it any surprise that when Jesus teaches us how to pray, that he teaches us how to pray in regards to the enemy of our hearts? And he says it this way. Most of us know it. He says, keep us from temptation, deliver us from evil. And the Message Bible translates it this way: keep us safe from ourselves and deliver us from the devil. And we do. We have a real enemy of the flesh that is perpetually pulling us to the things of the world, and we have a real enemy of our hearts. Satan is a real spirit that targets us because we're spirit beings living in a spirit world. That's why Peter in 1 Peter 5:8, he says, stay alert, meaning you cannot afford to be asleep right now. We cannot afford to go through the motions of relationship with Jesus Christ. We can't afford to be more attached to this world than we are to the ways of the Lord or to the voice of the Lord. That's why we talked a couple weeks ago that we have to figure out what is keeping us from our first love of Jesus, what has gotten in the way of that relationship. And Peter goes on to say, he says, watch out for your great enemy. So we have to realize we have an enemy, a great enemy, a real enemy, a persistent enemy who doesn't quit. He doesn't wear out. The devil, he prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. He is on the prowl looking for the weak place, the weak spots, the cracks in our armor. He's looking for those because he is looking for how he can steal from us, kill from us, or ultimately destroy us. In fact, Jesus told Peter in Luke 22, it's recorded, verse 31 and 32, he said, Simon, Simon, or Peter, Peter, indeed Satan has asked for you. Remember in the beginning of Job, Satan actually went to the throne of God and asked for Job. Well, apparently he did the same thing for Peter. Jesus says, Satan has asked for you that he may sift you as wheat. And what does Jesus say? He says, but I have prayed for you that your faith should not fail you. And we know Peter was tempted and that he fell prey to that temptation because scripture tells us he denied Jesus 3 times, even after the 3 years he had walked with Jesus and been with Jesus and all the miracles he had seen. That was telling us how weak his flesh was. So Jesus says this, I know your flesh is weak and I know that Satan is perpetually looking to devour you. So I want you to pray that you will not be led into temptation and that you will be delivered from evil. Pray that. Pray it. Because we're told, remember, that God is Jehovah Nissi, our banner of victory. We are capable of walking in victory in this life against the schemes of the enemy, against the war of our flesh and the war to our spirit. We can have victory. But we have to stay alert, and we have to be watching, and we have to be praying. So today, as you're driving in that car on the way to carpool, as you're listening, as you're putting your makeup on, or getting ready, or making your bed, however you're listening to this morning, when you get off, I want you to put on the full armor of God. I want you to put on the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shoes of peace. I want you to take up the shield of faith and the sword of the Spirit. And then I want you to pray, Lord, keep me from temptation and deliver me from the evil one today. And do it for my family. And do it for this world. Those are prayers worth praying on this Monday morning. If your heart was encouraged today, please know that we have many other resources available for you. You can discover all of those at reclaiminghearts.org.